Hello everyone and welcome to a bit of a less scripted video. And the reason for this is that I think we need to talk about Godzilla King of the Monsters. So in 2014, with the release of the first Godzilla movie, critics really bashed it because there was roughly 14 minutes of Godzilla in the film. Which is understandable because the film was called Godzilla. I think it was still a really good film and it had some amazing acting in it, especially from Bryan Cranston, which was a spectacular performance. But anyway, 2019 has rolled around, and with that, the release of Godzilla King of the Monsters. I thought this movie was really good, and possibly one of the best kaiju films ever released, if not the greatest. How can anyone not love such a realistic and detailed depiction of these monsters that we have loved for, 65 years now? The critics found this film terrible. That's the kind of main idea I get from reading the reviews. And this time they have complained about the abundance of kaiju scenes in the film, which I think is a complete contradiction of 2014. This really, annoys me because in a world where films are, they're basically judged by the amount of money they make in the box office, which is completely unfair because, as you know, there are a lot of criminally underrated films that haven't made as much as these blockbusters and are miles better. You know, I believe that the quality of the film was, it was outstanding. Like, the CGI was perfect. You could pass it as real, let's be honest here. But I honestly think the film has been too harshly judged. For a franchise that has been known to take itself less seriously than others, the film has been trashed. And I think it's very disrespectful of reviewers to have such little background knowledge on the films before they review them. I know I'm probably going to trigger a lot of people here, but they are the same critics who completely ignore the repetitive story arcs of the Marvel films. And I mean, I'm a fan of the Marvel films, I like a huge fan. And I can't hide from the fact that most of the films follow the same story arc. But it doesn't take away from the experience, which, is vital to the film. And these reviewers have really thoroughly looked into Godzilla more than what is required to enjoy the film. And I think that is the main problem with the critics. A film that is not supposed to be overanalyzed has been overanalyzed, and that is not good. The film wasn't created with the intention to be deep, believe it or not. The film was created for the purpose of being able to see these huge monsters battle it out. And that is where the film supposedly falls short. And let me tell you, this is a film for fans, made by fans. Michael Dougherty, the director of the film, has been known to be a huge Godzilla fan. And he has managed to keep the film and all of the creatures and monsters in the film as close to the original source material as possible, and that is all a fan could ask for. And his introduction of the new kaiju was also very interesting because honestly, I'd love to see where the extended universe goes in terms of Godzilla vs. Kong and anything after that. Because, he has this new open playing field for anything that could take place. And I'm very excited to see where that would go. But back to the topic of the video, and that is the problem that the critics have with the film. And I mean, critics haven't always been the deciding factor in the quality of a film and how good it is. Critics don't have the be all and end all knowledge. They only can review a film based on their own tastes, and if they don't like the film, then I mean, sure. If it's not what their little review and manual says a good film should be, then I suppose they can't really argue with that. I urge anyone who has seen the film and actually enjoyed it to review the film on their own and give their own take on how the film was. This is one of the most vital parts of keeping the film community alive. You know, if it wasn't for the fans, then films wouldn't have such a huge following at all. And believe me, it is the fans who have kept the Godzilla franchise alive for 65 years now. If 65 years doesn't say this is a successful film franchise, then I don't know what does. I don't know of very many film franchises that have been alive so long and still maintain the same popularity as they did when they first began. And with that said, I suppose the point I'm trying to make is that you shouldn't listen to critics, and you should go see the film, or any film for that matter, yourself, and form your own opinion. Because at the end of the day, film is a very expressive art form, and your opinion on the film is subject to how the film makes you feel. And I think this is the most important aspect of the message that I'm trying to get across. And you know, how can you form an opinion and be able to tell how a film makes you feel if you don't let yourself feel the emotion and the excitement of the film, and let someone who is paid to rate out a review for a film tell you how you should feel and how you should view the film? I completely disagree with that. I have my own tastes, I'm sure you have your own taste as well, and that is okay. But I really don't believe in the systematic slaughter of this film. And I don't really have much more to say on the matter, except that it was an awesome movie, and I really recommend you go see it. Thank you.